The Emperor's New Clothes. Many years ago, there was an emperor who was very fond of new clothes. He spent a lot of his money on them. He had a new coat for every hour of the day. He spent his time riding through the streets so that everybody could see his beautiful clothes. One day, two rogues came to the city and pretended to be weavers. They claimed that they knew how to weave the most wonderful cloth in the world, but the cloth could not be seen by anyone who was stupid or unfit for the office he held.
Those indeed must be splendid clothes,
thought the emperor.
If I wore them, I might at once find out which men in my kingdom are unfit for their office. I would also be able to separate the clever men from the fools.
So he paid a large sum of money as advance to weavers and asked them to begin their work without delay. The two weavers set up two huge looms and pretended to weave, though there was nothing on the looms. They asked the emperor to give them more money for the finest silks and the brightest gold threads. But they took all this money and kept it for themselves, and then pretended to work at empty looms until late at night. The emperor waited days and days for the magic fabric.
I would like to know how the weavers are getting on with my clothes,
said the emperor. But he felt worried when he remembered that no one who was stupid could see the cloth.
I will send my faithful old minister to the weavers,
said the emperor.
He will be the best one to tell me how the fabric looks, for he is a sensible man, and no one is more suitable for his office than he is.
So the faithful old minister went into the hall where the two rogues sat working at the empty looms. He stared first at the empty looms and then at the weavers.
What can be the meaning of this?
Thought the old man, opening his eyes wide.
I cannot see the least bit of thread on looms.
However, he did not express his thoughts loud. The weavers requested the old minister to step a little closer to their looms. They asked him whether the design pleased him and whether the colors were beautiful. The poor minister put on his spectacles and bent over the looms. But he could not see anything because there was nothing to see.
What?
He thought.
It is possible that I am a fool. I have never thought so myself. No one must know if I am one. Or can it be that I am unfit for my office? No, that must not be told either. I will never confess that I could not see the stuff. Well, sir, minister,
said one of the rogues.
What do you think of it? Oh, it is excellent,
replied the minister.
The colors are gorgeous and the pattern is just wonderful. We are happy to hear that,
the weavers said. Soon the whole city was talking about the wonderful cloth that the emperor had ordered. Now the emperor wished to see the beautiful cloth himself while it was still upon the looms. So he visited the two rogues who were weaving rapidly on their empty looms.
What is this?
Thought the emperor.
I cannot see anything at all. That is terrible. Am I fool? am I unfit to be an emperor?
Then he said,
Yes, yes, it is very pretty. I liked it.
He smiled and nodded his head and stared at the empty looms. All his courtiers who were with him too looked and looked, but saw no more than the others. Still, they all gave admiring looks. They all advised the emperor to wear a suit made from this cloth in a great procession which was soon to take place.
Sure, I will wear a suit made from his fine cloth in the next procession,
said the emperor. The emperor gave each of the rogues a royal badge to wear and called them the imperial coat weavers. The whole night before the day of procession, the rogues pretended to work hard. They pretended to take cloth from the loom. They cut the air with their big scissors and sewed with needles without any thread. At last they announced,
The emperor's new clothes are ready now.
Together with his courtiers, the emperor came to weavers.
Let me put on my new suit,
said the emperor. The emperor took off the clothes he was wearing, and the rogues pretended to put on him each new garment that they had stitched. They wrapped him about, they buttoned, and they tied. The emperor turned round and round in front of the mirror and looked and nodded his head in approval.
How well His Majesty looks in his new suit. What a becoming style. What beautiful colors.
Courtiers exclaimed. The two men stooped down to the floor trying to find the train which they were supposed to carry. They pretended to pick up the train and held their hands as if they were actually carrying it. The emperor walked in the procession under his beautiful canopy, and all his officers marched behind him. All people of the town who had lined streets or were looking down from the windows said,
How handsome the emperor's clothes are. What a perfect fit. What marvelous colors.
How handsome the emperor's clothes are. What a perfect fit! What marvelous colors! But he has nothing on, cried a little child.
Listen to the innocent one,
said the proud father, and the people began to whisper to one another what the child had said.
He has nothing on.
He has nothing on, shouted all people at last. The emperor heard what they said, and he trembled, for he knew that people were right. But he thought the procession must go on now, so he held himself stiffer than ever, and behind him walked his officers carrying the train that wasn't there. Hans Christian Andersen.